The Nepo baby discourse has been resurrected once again, and it's because actually a couple of famous Nepo nieces were in the news for the last couple of days. First of which is Morgan Freeman's niece, who seems to have a great knack for TikTok content creation. I
posted about this. I thought this was great.
This was great. It honestly was. I'm not even mad at it, but let's watch.
Here we go. This made me...
This is a day in the life of the Nepo niece of Morgan Freeman.
Welcome to my niece's day in the life, narrated by me, Morgan Freeman. Justine begged for money for what she said would be a cultural experience in Spain. Does this sound like culture to you?
Could this have been done with AI? Is this fake?
It sounds like AI, but I don't know.
It's not even in Spanish. She asked for my credit card to book what she claimed was a little activity for her birthday. Imagine my surprise when I was charged for a yacht. Basically, she embezzled.
Embezzle?
Don't get me started on the birthday dress that really just looks like a nightgown, even though she's bossy.
Now take a picture.
I just can't say no to her, apparently. See you tomorrow. Duh. Bye.
It's better if it's AI, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I found the reply. I found the fact check that says, well, I've been informed it is AI Morgan Freeman narrating the video. Sorry for believing Morgan Freeman was a very sweet uncle. I mean, I'm sure he's an uncle to somebody.
He probably is a very sweet uncle.
And he probably has Nepo nieces and nephews, and that's
it's
just
actually better that it's not, and that she's just really smart at coming up with a clever idea.
But as you can tell, people are starting to be able to have more of a sense of humor about things when it comes to the nepotism discourse, except Emma Roberts. Not her. She doesn't find it funny at all.
Daughter of Eric Roberts and niece of Julia Roberts?
Right. Emma Roberts' father is Eric Roberts. I had not heard of him, actually.
Eric Roberts is a veteran TV actor. Been around a long time.
More famous is her aunt, Julia Roberts. Correct. And you might have seen Emma Roberts in Scream Queens. And she also, to our surprise, was in Madam Web for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I forgot. It's Peter's mom.
She's been in a lot of things. But she has just talked about the criticism of Nepo babies and essentially equated it to misogyny.
Yep.
She says that these discussions about Nepo babies are too female focused. And here's her full quote in the full context. She said, growing up, watching her aunt become an A-list superstar as a kid showed her how scary that level of fame can be. She said, I saw very up close what it looks like. It's obviously fun and great, but there's a part of it that's really scary, so I've wanted to carve my own path. Fame has never been the goal. And she said, even in my later teens, I was like, I never want my fame to outweigh my work. So she cares about putting the work in and not getting opportunities and jobs just because of her last name. But anyway, she went on to say that Nepo baby accusations that she is contended with in her career are mainly directed at women, and that's an example of misogyny and sexism. She said, people say, you have a leg up because of your family in the industry, but then the other side to that is you have to prove yourself more. Also, if people didn't have good experiences with other people in your family, then you'll never get a chance. Everybody loves the kind of overnight success story. And so if you're kind of not the girl from the middle of nowhere that broke into Hollywood, there's kind of an eye roll, like, well, your dad was this. I always joke, why is no one calling out George Clooney for being a Nepo baby? His aunt, Rosemary Clooney, was an icon. I feel like young girls get it harder.
Because George Clooney is George Clooney. Are you kidding me?
She said, I feel like young girls get it harder with the Nepo baby thing. Like, I don't really see people calling out sons of famous actors.
George Clooney.
Not that they should be called out.
George Clooney means something entirely different to an entirely different generation of people than his mother. Are you kidding me?
Well, that's true for Eric Roberts and Emma Roberts as well.
Okay, but they're not called. But is she being called a Nepo baby because of her dad or because of her aunt?
I hadn't heard of her dad, but that's just me as a Gen Zer not having heard of him. And she also went on to say that people who criticize Nepo babies only see your wins because they only see when you're on the poster of a movie. They don't see all the rejection along the way. That's why I'm always very open about things I've auditioned for and haven't gotten.
Jaden Smith is constantly given shit for being the less talented, dorkier, worse version of Will Smith. And that's saying something given how far Will Smith seems to have fallen in the last 10 years.
He's even the dorkier, less talented version of his sister.
Colin Hanks is no Tom Hanks. Now, neither of them are any Chet Hanks, but that's besides the point, right?
If anything, Tom Hanks is the Nepo dad
of Chet Hanks.
Of Chet Hanks at this point, because he is such an icon for a generation.
Correct.
But yeah, like I think this has nothing to do with sexism.
Okay.
Genuinely.
I constantly point out how I want John David Washington to have a great career. He's never going to be Denzel Washington. It's got nothing to do with him being a dude. He's never going to be his dad.
Like, it's about people's proclivities, and I assume that the daughters of famous people will be more attracted to show business just because they're women.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that like, oh, women are shallow, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying like probably men are gonna be gifted at more technical skills.
Scott Eastwood is a fine actor. He's not ever gonna be Clint Eastwood.
I had never heard the name Scott Eastwood.
I'm still mortified by the fact that Kevin Smith has a daughter named Harley Quinn Smith.
Oh, you have a family tree here, don't you? Yeah. I think we've gone over this before, but I think the New Yorker published a family tree of Nepo babies that we can show you guys.
Yes. Ooh, Scott Conn, another actor I like who's never going to be his dad, James Conn. Here, I'll just keep giving. I'm just going to.
But there are so many examples of people who did surpass their parents. It's just less obvious because you don't know who their parents are.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But who are the male examples? Like, that's what I want to know.
I gave you a bunch of them here. So, Jackson White. And that's apparently Katie Seagal is his mom. I don't know who the hell Jackson White is. Is that sexism?
I heard Timothy Chalamet is a Nepo baby. He's a Nepo son.
Look at some of these. Philip Seymour Hoffman has a son. Cooper Hoffman. Didn't know who that is.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Yep.
Who else?
Charlie Hall is Brad Hall and Julia Louis-Dreyfus's son. No clue who he is.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Lily Rose Depp is one.
Well, she has not surpassed.
No, I'm saying, but she's popular right now, but she's never gonna be more famous than Johnny Depp, and that's okay.
You know what? I believe that when I have kids and they are teenaged, they will know who Lily Rose Depp is. They will not be as familiar with who Johnny Depp is.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, people always get surprised when it happens, but it's true. Like, time just keeps passing and people get forgotten.
Rumor Willis is not going to be as successful as Bruce Willis.
Why would you name your child Rumor? Why?
Very good question.
Mental illness. If anything, this proves that celebrities need to choose more mainstream names for their children.
Bryce Dallas Howard has reached a large amount of success, and there's probably plenty of people who don't know who Ron Howard is.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a good example.
Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son. Look, I love Bill Pullman as an actor, but Lewis Pullman is not more famous than him.
What about Zoe Kravitz? What would you think of her?
Never going to be more famous.
Gen Z doesn't know who her parents are.
They don't know who Lenny Kravitz is?
No.
He's a musician and actor, are different, but those are different mediums, so it's not really the same thing.
She's still mentioned most of these conversations. I mean, Gen Z doesn't know who Lenny Kravitz is. I've got to be honest. Gen Z doesn't know who Dakota Johnson's parents are.
Don Johnson. Yeah.
They don't know who like.
That's okay.
That no one knows who Timothy Chalamet's parents are, and the list could go on.
The point of all of this is Hollywood is very much an incestuous industry. Always has been, always will be. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about when Disney talks about hiring practices, and the subjective nature of everything in the arts means that you can hire whoever you want. And if I say the movie's great and somebody else says the movie's bad, who am I to say that their opinion means anything less than mine? Yeah. Which opens the door for nepotistic casting, because who knows if somebody could have given this performance a better one. Maybe it was the director's fault. Maybe it was the writer's fault. Maybe it wasn't even the actor's fault that this went bad. I did see people making fun of the fact that what's his name? Who is it? Kevin Costner casted his son in Horizon. I'm like, well, he's the director, and I think he footed the bill for a lot of the movie, so I guess he can cast whoever the hell he wants.
Sure.
In that, I'm never gonna fall.
But as the recipient of that special privilege, would you feel proud of what you're doing?
Exactly. Okay, so the other thing is here is if you're gonna be the young actor who decides to go into this field, you better, harden your heart over the criticism that's about to come your way, and decide whether the potential fame, the money, and all of the exposure that comes with this industry is worth that nagging feeling of self-doubt that might always be there, that you only got to where you were because of your parents.
Everyone has certain privileges in life. It doesn't, I definitely don't lose any sleep when I remember that I was raised with certain privileges. I mean, you're privileged to even be born in this country. And I don't think there's any reason to feel bad about that.
I didn't know that Riley Keough was Elvis's granddaughter.
I didn't either. Wow.
I did not. Wow.
I didn't know that. But I'm just saying it's only a problem if you lie about it and if you give all the credit to yourself.
All of the Skarsgårds are famous. Stellan Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård, they're all famous.
And it's an incestuous industry, but so are a lot of other industries. I mean, you could say that about like plumbing because they're family-owned companies.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. Actually, family loyalty is a pretty good thing. What's unfortunate is that Hollywood practices family loyalty, but in all of the stories that they tell, they discourage it and they promote chosen family. It's very hypocritical.
It's so funny because to this day, I understand that that's hypocritical, but I do love when a chosen family story is done right. Usually it's something that takes place in the workplace, right? People who work in specific industries, they spend all their time with their colleagues. I do find something engaging about those stories.
Roommates.
Yeah,
like that
too. But for the most part, you don't see. I think a lot of that has to do purely from a production standpoint. It allows them to cast widely, and older, younger, different races, different all of the things that allows them to open it up to different backgrounds, which makes things more interesting. It's probably a lot harder actually to write good family dynamics in an interesting way that doesn't fall into melodrama as quickly. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.